I'd like to take the opportunity to again introduce myself. I'm Shauna Burkhart, City Manager for the City of Del Rio here. And we have
Anna Markowski Smith, City Attorney.
Mario Garcia, Human Resources Director.
Hector Cruz, Interim Finance Director.
Kamala
And if we could, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Kamala Sandman, Denton Navarro.
Raul Castillo, firefighter and EMTB for the Del Rio Fire Department, Union Secretary.
I'm Jimmy Hall with the Texas State Association of Firefighters. I'm a service rep.
Chris Milano, Lieutenant with the Del Rio Fire Department, Vice President of the Union.
Edgar Coelho, Lieutenant with the Del Rio Fire Department, President of our local union, 3662.
For being here this morning again. So if you would like to go ahead and begin, I know that Mr. Castillo distributed your proposal, but if you'd like to make comments or discuss what you presented to us, Camila, I sent this to you just a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Morning, everybody. I put together this proposal. I sent out a email survey to the union, and we based everything off of their responses. And what we put together is not just salary raise or anything like that. It's a multi-purpose proposal, multi-pronged proposal to enhance the compensation, retention, health, and funding sustainability for our department. Sorry, it's my first time ever doing this, so I have a little stage fright. So this plan outlines the strategic cost-conscious solutions designed to benefit the city of Del Rio, the fire department workforce, and most importantly, the citizens we serve. Our proposals include 1, an annual step raise over a 3-year period across all ranks, incentive pay for specialized certification and assignments, a monthly wellness stipend for physical fitness and injury prevention, a PTO buyback and comp time option system, a guaranteed cost of living adjustment COLA, and a consumer price index benchmark review every year. Lastly, I know this is something that we really don't do, but a lot of union members asked for this, so we thought, why not just put it in there? It is the creation of a clerk/grant writer position within the fire department to pursue dedicated funding opportunities. These investments address critical workforce challenges, improve ISO ratings, and open avenues for significant grant funding, all while keeping long-term budget goals in focus. So, what do these 6 proposals address? The background and challenges. So despite the commitment and professionalism of our members, the Del Rio Fire Department faces several interrelated challenges. Over 36 firefighters have separated since 2019, with 7 more expected by the end of the year. Loss of 2 clerical staff positions over the past 5 years, now forcing shared resources with emergency management. No dedicated grant writing capacity, while the police department and emergency management has had multiple grants on the city budget for years, allowing them to receive higher wages, equipment, training, and special assignment pay. This has also included limited funding access despite eligibility for state and federal grants like FEMA SAFER, AFG, and FPNS. As we go throughout the presentation, I'll talk about these grants and more numbers. I'll go into depth. We also face the problem of turnover costs have exceeded $1 million to $4 million since 2019, factoring recruitment, onboarding, and overtime needs. And I'll go into that as well as we move on. We also face the problem of below market compensation compared to peer cities, stated later in the presentation. Fire department personnel expenses, 142 and 143 personnel, so non-civil service and civil service personnel, only rose in the fire department 2.86% from 2019 to 2025. This is dramatically lower than the 26.3 cumulative inflation from 2019 to 2025, meaning real income fell by over 23% in purchasing power. How do we propose to fix these problems? We have one is the annual step raise, a 3-year contract. These raises, the first year will be front loaded with a minimum of 10% across the board in year 1. These increases will only cover civil service positions, firefighter 1 and assistant chief 3. In year 1, firefighter, engineer, lieutenant, captain, and assistant chief will receive 10%. In year 2, we have different figures. Firefighters will receive 8, engineers 7, lieutenants 8, captains 4, assistant chiefs 4. In year 3, firefighters, engineers, lieutenants, captains, and assistant chiefs will receive a 2% increase across the board. The year total raise of these 3 years, firefighters will receive a 20%, engineers will receive a 19, lieutenants a 20, captains 16, and assistant chiefs 16. The incentive pay for specialty certifications and assignments, it's a 3-year contract. Monthly bonuses ranging from $25 to $250, which is very modest. Most of the cities that we compared are paying paramedics almost $600 a month for their certification and other certs like that. We chose this smaller figure to help you guys out because we know the general fund is hurting right now. And this will also include assignment pay for ARF firefighters. ARF stands for the Air Rescue, inspections, trainings, operations, and logistics. Estimated annual cost for this would be about $59,580 a year. Health and wellness stipend, a 3-year contract, will include a $35 a month gym stipend for all operational members as an incentive to go into the gyms in town, spend locally, and not just collect a $35 stipend. Staff will have to show some form of proof that they're using these gym services, physical therapy, using it to buy health and wellness products. Right? We estimate this annual cost will be $26,460. Fourth, the PTO and comp time option system, also a 3-year contract. This will allow firefighters to cash out or bank unused PTO annual leave each fiscal year, reducing the end of service payout liabilities and improving scheduling flexibility. This also fixes the minimum staffing issue of not being able to take PTO annual leave due to calendar already being filled up or 2 employees on sick leave. 5, the guaranteed COLA and benchmark review every year, also a 3-year contract. This ensures salaries keep pace with inflation and peer municipalities without requiring reactive proposals. It gives employees peace of mind knowing that they're always going to get something. CPI reflects real inflation. It keeps up with rising costs in housing, fuel, groceries, etc. It's transparent and fair. It's based on publicly available data. and it's widely used. It's very common in municipal contracts, state pensions, and federal policies. We also recommend adopting a consumer price index-based COLA tied to the annual change in the urban southern region, capped between 2 to 4%, and reviewed every fiscal year. And 6, the clerk position with grant writing responsibilities. We respectfully propose that the next fire department clerk hire to be a dual role fire clerk / grant writer, restoring necessary administrative capacity and unlocking millions in available funds to not only assist the department but also help the municipality in its general fund issues. Without this position, the fire department remains under-resourced, missing recurring funding opportunities that other departments such as the police and emergency management departments have utilized for years. Examples of opportunities we miss can be found in pages provided later. So now we have the justification for all of this. Okay. Do you guys have any questions before we move on?
I do have a question regarding sick leave. Or this number 4, I believe, on the back of the first page. Can you share with me on the second bullet, it fixes minimum staffing issues. It's my understanding that sick leave is also being scheduled ahead of time for time off. Is this actual sick leave or is this scheduled sick leave? The reason I'm asking is I've run the sick leave reports, and the fire department has high numbers, as well as all departments, higher numbers on sick leave. And it's my understanding that it's based on scheduled sick leave being used as time off.
So we're supposed to use sick leave for if a family member has a doctor's appointment, if we know that we're going to have a doctor appointment in the future. So that could also factor what you are seeing. We do mess around with a lot of hazardous chemicals. So a lot of this would be for cancer screenings. For example, I don't know if you guys remember, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, we had an incident where an 18-wheeler was stuck on base and it was struck by the train. And everybody saw that video on Facebook, a big old explosion. Well, many firefighters responded to that.
Sure.
And, there's our firefighters had to respond to that because we use a chemical called AFFF, which is highly cancerous, and other materials like that. Since then, me and another lieutenant were sprayed by that stuff by not our personnel, the other fire department that was there on scene. And,
I think what we're talking about here is that what we're talking about is not pertaining to sick leave, but not for sick leave, right? What we're talking about here
It was my understanding that it was
You're
being
referring
used.
to is
scheduled.
scheduled leave can be scheduled for future doctor appointments. As we know, if you
Right.
go to a specialist, you're 2-3 months out from an appointment. So if it is scheduled on a day for fire, that is included in Civil Service 143. What we're able to use the sick leave for. It can also be used for family members, for funerals, bereavement, all that stuff. So yes, there are certain situations where it can be scheduled ahead of time and not just based on, hey, I'm going to call in right before 7, according to our policy, correct? It can be scheduled ahead of time, yes, ma'am.
The reason that they're referring to sick leave is because they don't have the availability to use their PTO because sometimes people are on sick leave. They're not.
Yes,
I understand.
our staffing has been reduced by the past administration, so this caused us to have, right now on our shift, I believe we only have 2 open slots for leave, and then 1 is saved for sick leave. So if you don't get that slot and you have to schedule a doctor's appointment, there's no way to use AO for that. You have to use sick leave, which is covered by 143. Yes, ma'am.
It is my understanding that scheduled sick leave has been utilized for leave because it is not paid out when you either leave the city on your own desires or at whatever time that you choose to leave the city. And so it is my understanding that it has been used as scheduled time off instead of so as to get the benefit of it because it's not paid out.
Yes,
Is that correct?
under when somebody retires or leaves under civil service, they're required to be paid. I believe it's 90 days on a 12-hour schedule, so those will be given under Civil Service 143 to the individual. But if we're talking about individuals using it before they retire or before they leave, is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
I think we would need to look at specific examples and actually look at something instead of having a general, like, hey, you guys are using this for this. But
Right.
I think if we look at specific examples, that can be kind of narrowed down. So, but we are able to use sick leave for a variety of reasons, not just for
Right.
itself, for the family, for
Right.
for funeral and all that stuff. Yeah.
I'm more concerned about it being utilized for just time off.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
I'd
you.
like to just interrupt here for just a second. While I understand Shauna's concerns here, I think that's what the city was just, you're entitled to use sick leave, like you said, as scheduled, and it's just that, we're trying to minimize it as being used as actual leave. So when we caucus, we may come up with a counter to try to help maybe, limit that, just so that it's not being used just as leave.
With departments, it's not just the fire department. Mrs. Burkhardt is looking at that across the board.
Yes.
And I was going to ask a question about the bonuses. What would you base the number on? Who would get paid what based on what is it rewarding?
So all the rewarding would be in our justification as we move on, but
Okay.
I have here a sample of how it would work. It's in the back.
Okay, I'll wait.
It goes over assignment pay, so people who are at the airport would get some kind of monthly cost. People who work on the ladder truck would get a monthly incentive. Inspector's office and different offices, right? Because we have a problem where people don't want to go 8 to 5 because they lose a lot of money from overtime. They don't get the FSLA, stuff like that.
I'm sorry. This is a very thorough presentation. I didn't anticipate that you had this, so you can just move ahead.
He's got some research.
Yeah, a lot. So it's very good.
Thank you.
I'm going to be patient.
Are there any more questions before we move on?
Oh, I'm good.
So now we can move on to the justification of everything. How all these topics will affect the department, the municipality, and of course, most importantly, the citizens that we all serve here. So the justification for the annual step raise over a 3-year period across all ranks. The annual step raises over a 3-year period across all ranks will provide structured, equitable way to recognize, experience, retain skilled personnel, and support career growth within the fire department. This system not only rewards years of dedicated service, but also helps reduce costly turnover and the disruption of constantly retraining new hires. By implementing scheduled step increases, Del Rio can strategically progress toward achieving competitive pay with cities of similar size, service demand, strengthening our position in regional labor market. For leadership ranks, what does this mean for them? These raises help retain experienced personnel and support succession planning for future promotions. Spreading the increases over 3 years allows the city to manage financial impacts in a gradual, sustainable manner. For the citizens, maintaining a stable and experienced firefighting force, this means faster response times, safer operations, and a more consistent level of service, all without relying on reactive pay adjustments or emergency hiring efforts. 2. The justification of a specialized incentive pay system. Certification pay serves as a critical instrument to recognize and incentivize firefighters who attain specialized skills beyond the minimum requirements. For example, such as EMT paramedic, hazmat technician, swift water rescue, rope rescue, or fire instructor certifications. Currently, the city of Del Rio has no on-shift paramedics, limiting our ability to provide advanced life support during critical emergencies. We also lack hazmat technicians, leaving us unprepared for chemical spills or hazardous exposures, and we have no rope or swift water rescue technicians capable of responding to flood scenarios, like the historic 1998 Del Rio flood or the more recent flood in Kerrville. Implementing a certification pay system will encourage personnel to pursue these vital specialties on their own, without requiring the city to fund tuition, travel, or certification fees. It's a cost-effective way to build a highly trained workforce, improve response capabilities, enhance ISO scoring, and ultimately deliver safer, more reliable service to the citizens, all while reducing the city's long-term liability and training burden. 3. The justification of a monthly wellness stipend for physical fitness and injury prevention. A monthly wellness stipend provides firefighters with essential support for maintaining physical fitness and preventing injuries, both of which are critical in physically demanding profession. Firefighters face higher rates of musculoskeletal injuries, cardiac events, and mental stress, all of which can be reduced through consistent fitness, recovery, and wellness practices. This stipend can be used for gym memberships, recovery equipment, nutritional supplements, or physical therapy, empowering members to take proactive care of their health. For the city, investing in wellness helps lower injury-related overtime workers, compensation claims, and long-term healthcare costs. It also promotes resilience, reduces burnout, enhances on-the-job performance, ultimately resulting in a healthier, more capable department ready to serve the citizens of Del Rio. The justification for the PTO and comp time options systems. PTO buyback and comp time options are a practical solution to staffing-related scheduling challenges within the fire department. Due to current low staffing levels, most shifts in the Del Rio Fire Department have only one guaranteed PTO slot and one tentative slot, which is often revoked if a firefighter calls in sick. As a result, many employees are unable to take their earned time off when desired, leading to frustration, burnout, and in some cases, the loss of hours they rightfully earned. A buyback and comp time system allows firefighters to recoup the value of unused leave, supports financial flexibility, and improves morale. For the city, this policy helps manage leave liabilities, improving scheduling predictability, and promotes a workforce stability without increasing base pay, making it a fiscally responsible benefit that respects the time and commitment of its employees. 5. The justification for a guaranteed cost of living COLA and benchmark review every year. The Del Rio Fire Department respectfully requests the implementation of a guaranteed cost of living adjustment along with scheduled benchmark reviews each fiscal year. This practice provides a fair, sustainable approach to firefighter compensation that benefits city employees, the city leadership, and citizens alike. As inflation steadily increases, the cost of essentials such as housing, groceries, and fuel and healthcare, stagnant wages result in a decline in real income. This not only impacts firefighters' financial well-being, but also affects the morale, recruitment, and retention. A guaranteed COLA helps ensure that firefighters' pay keeps pace with economic conditions, supporting long-term financial stability without requiring steep raises during the contract negotiations. Incorporating regular benchmark reviews, particularly using the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers and wage comparisons with similar-sized departments in our region, further ensures that Del Rio remains competitive in the public safety job market. These tools allow the city to plan for modest, predictable adjustments, including instead of responding to sudden fiscal pressures, making it fiscally responsible strategy that promotes stability. It is also important to note that in many other municipalities, including Austin, San Antonio, and Houston, both civil service and non-civil service employees are frequently included in citywide COLAs to maintain pay parity and support workforce morale. When COLAs are extended to non-civil service employees, while civil service base pay remains static, it inadvertently creates an economic disparity among employee classes. Our request is made in the spirit of collaboration and mutual benefit. We believe this approach strengthens Del Rio's ability to retain dedicated, experienced firefighters and maintain a high standard of public safety while demonstrating the city's commitment to equitable treatment across its workforce. We are confident in the measure will help safeguard our department's future and allow us to continue serving the community with pride and excellence. Six, the justification for a dedicated grant writer in the fire department. Grants are a vital funding source for fire departments, especially in mid-sized cities like Del Rio, where budgets are often limited. Public safety demands continue to rise. A dedicated grant writer can unlock millions of dollars in federal, state, and private funds that would go otherwise untapped. These grants directly support the purchase of life-saving equipment, firefighter training, recruitment and retention programs, fire prevention outreach, health and wellness initiatives, and even staffing. Without a grant writer, the department relies solely on city funding or inconsistent last-minute application efforts, often missing out on highly competitive opportunities. The impact of securing grants goes far beyond the fire station. For the city, grant awards help alleviate general fund pressures, allowing local tax dollars to be redirected toward infrastructure, parks, or other community priorities. For investors and business owners, a well-funded fire department improves ISO ratings, which lowers property insurance premiums and encourages economic development. For citizens, grant-funded improvements means faster response times, modern equipment, better trained firefighters, and improved public safety outcomes. To put this into perspective, the FEMA SAFER grant can award over $1 million for firefighter hiring. The AFG, Assistant to Firefighter Grant, regularly provides up to $750,000 for new fire engines, bunker gear, SCBAs, and radios, and other equipment. The FP&S Fire Prevention and Safety Grant offers up to $1.5 million for public fire education and smoke alarm distribution. The USDA Community Facilities Grant can fund station improvements in rural cities like Del Rio. The Health and Wellness Grants from Texas Mutual and VFIS offer $10,000 to $50,000 for mental health, rehab, and cancer prevention programs. Over a 5-year period, a single dedicated grant writer could help the city of Del Rio secure $2 to $5 million in outside funding without raising taxes. The Del Rio Police Department has benefited from multiple grant-funded initiatives in the recent years thanks to the consistent grant writing efforts. By investing in a fire department grant writer in-house, we empower our department to do more with less, strengthen our public safety infrastructure, and deliver long-term financial savings for the entire community. And 5, how all these 6 things tie together. But before we move on, do you have any questions? Premiums for residential and cooperative and commercial property owners. The ISO ratings are based on 4 core areas. The first one would be emergency communications. The second, fire department staffing, training, and equipment. 3 is water supply. And 4 is community risk reduction, otherwise known as fire prevention and outreach. This proposal strengthens multiple ISO components, improving staffing levels through increased retention and reduced vacancies, enhanced training and certification via incentive pay for the specialization, better physical readiness through wellness stipends, expanded administrative support through grant-funded equipment and training, consistent documentation and risk mitigation activities from retained workforce. Why do we need a higher ISO rating? A better ISO score not only reduces insurance premiums of local homeowners and businesses, but also reflects a more capable and well-prepared fire department. Improvements such as maintaining a 4-person engine company, investing in firefighter training, and expanding specialty capabilities like hazmat or technical rescue directly support ISO scoring criteria under staffing, deployment, and training. A lower ISO rating can lead to the insurance premium reductions of 5 to 25% depending on property type and insured. What I mean by a lower ISO rating, the lower number you have, the better. For example, a 1 is the best you can get, right? I know I worded it weird here on this proposal, but I just wanted to clarify that. So, for example, if a homeowner currently pays $2,000 a year for insurance, a drop in ISO classification could save them $10 to $500 annually. For businesses or larger properties, those savings can range from $1,000 to over $10,000 per year. When multiplied across thousands of properties in Del Rio, these reductions translate to millions in cumulative annual savings for residents, businesses, owners, and investors. By following through with our proposal, the city strengthens its public safety, supports economic development, and puts real money back into the pockets of the community. 2, how do these 6 issues address the growing economic gap? Fixing these 6 issues, COLA, step raises, certification pay, wellness stipends, PTO buyback, and regular benchmark reviews creates a unified solution to wage stagnation, inflation losses, and retention challenges. While inflation in our region has risen over 26% since 2019, our highest proposed increase is capped at 20% to remain in good faith with the City of Del Rio and to demonstrate our commitment to a fair and cooperative process. Addressing these wage-related gaps will not only strengthen our department, but will also return money to local economy through increased spending at local businesses, service providers, and community events benefiting the city as a whole. Finally, we have our closing statement. On the behalf of Del Rio Fire Department Local Union 3662, we extend our sincere thanks to the city leadership. We recognize the financial responsibilities the city must manage and have structured our request with those realities in mind. This proposal is not only a step toward fair compensation and operational stability, it is an investment in public safety, workforce sustainability, and local economic growth. We look forward to continuing this dialogue and working together to create a stronger, safer, and more resilient city of Del Rio. So after the proposal, you'll find the first page is the survey that we put out to the union. We have 33 union members, and of those 33, only 31 have answered. You can see the questions above each pie chart and how they answered. On the second page, you'll see how I was able to calculate the 26.3% of the inflation rate from 2019 till now. The next page after that is the proposed percentage increase, how everything moves. So the first year we have a hit there is what we have right now. The second year, everybody moves how they're supposed to, and so on and so forth. So as you can see in the recruit tab, from year 0, where we are now, to next year, there's 6 and 0, and then 0 and 1. That's because they moved over, right? And this is all based on if no one retires, leaves, or promotes or anything like that. Everybody just moves up in their respective seniority. The next is...
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
This does not include benefits, correct? Retirement or otherwise in these numbers?
No, it only includes our hourly, biweekly, and annual figure.
Okay. And does it also include the overtime rate?
No, ma'am. It's based on the 108
Okay. Thank you.
of our FSLA.
Thank you.
The second will have a little summary. It's a little bit easier to see and read how everything moves up. The first is our year 0, where we are now, after our proposed 10% across the board. The second year with the different numbers. Third with our 2% across the board. And then the differences from this year and 3 years in the future. It also has the number of positions and things like that. next page, sorry, I think I have it. The next one would be the incentive pace proposal. An example we have at the top is assignment pay for people at the airport, for people working on the ladder truck inspector's office, and other things like that. Then we also propose for certification pay for both fire and medical, because we do both here in the fire department. We have where we totaled it out per month and per year. We also include the monthly wellness stipend for the 63 operational firefighters, how it will be, what it will cost per month would be $2,205, and the cost per year would be $26,460. And the totals of the incentive pay with the wellness stipend will be $86,340. So if you turn that paper over, we summarized how the proposed personnel annual and the incentive pay proposal goes together, how it will, what will be the total costs. Then on the next page, we have our the cities that we the comparison. Thank you, sir. Comparison cities. We based it off of population, area, personnel, and their fire department. We made sure they were union, and the number of fire stations and their ISO ratings. On the next page, when you flip it over, you will see the differences in pay across the nation, across Texas, and across the cities that we just saw. On the next page, you'll see the city personnel budget or expenses from the general fund of each year, how everybody moved up. These numbers were pulled from the city website. And then when you flip that over, you'll see percentage changes of everyone per year. And then the last figure is the percentage change in from 25 to 19. Yes. So lastly, we have our firefighter separation sheet. This shows everyone that has left since 2019 till now. Totals out to 36 firefighters, gave their years of service, the date they left, and their reason of leaving. And we also have 7 that may leave by the end of the year. When you flip that page over, we tried to calculate the number of turnover costs. We have a low end and a high end. By that is, if we did everything in-house, we gave everybody, hand-me-down gear, stuff like that. And we also have the high end if they purchased new equipment, things like that. It all goes into depth whenever you look at it. And then for the separation and benefits payout, we had chiefs, higher ranking, people that left. And that's why that number is a little higher, because we had to estimate all of that with the publicly found information. And then lastly, you should have the general fund. I think this one was here by accident. But do we have any questions on the information provided?
Please note that the last page is a working document and has sustained many changes since the last time we met. And that will be presented on Saturday. Thank you. Pamela,
Yes.
is there anything further that we need to go over?
No, I don't. I think you've asked the questions y'all needed. I think we'll need to discuss this at some point. We need
Sure.
to the caucus or have a separate meeting at some point.
Okay.
There's a lot of information.
Yes, we need to go back and look at all these numbers. We also must calculate benefits as well as overtime, how it affects, when you increase regular pay, it increases overtime as well. So we just need to go through those numbers and make sure that we can tie back to those. Thank you. That's all we have. I don't know if that's all y'all have. Here.
Can we possibly, yes, go ahead, sir.
If you guys need any help with how our system is proposed or anything like that, we're more than helpful. We're more than willing to help you guys out. Anything you need, just let us know.
Thank you. So, yes, ma'am, go ahead, Camilla.
No, I was just going to say thank you. I mean, we're going to have to discuss it, from our end first. Of course, these are proposals, and that, we can counter at some point and see if, that's why we're negotiating, see if we can't come to some middle ground. So, but yes, and I think that Ms. Burkhardt is still willing to meet in a subcommittee if there's, maybe some other few little questions that need to be fettered back out for even our side or your side, and then brought back to caucus before our next meeting. So, I think what I don't know if Mario may be just about to say this, is that, do you guys have a date and time? I mean, they can throw out their dates and I can check my calendar as we go if we want to set the next date.
That is correct. That's what I was going to ask. But of course, we probably want to wait till after sometime the 12th, I think. Or do we want to?
Yes.
We present the 12th.
The 12th. So, yeah, at least after the 12th. Anything that's on your calendars that might be possible.
So this Saturday is a budget workshop, but we actually present the budget, I believe, on the 12th. Is that correct? We're presenting on the 12th, August 12th, so that you know.
For that meeting on the 12th.
I believe it's 6:30, correct?
6:30.
Correct.
So we probably want to think about possibly the week of the 18th to allow us time to go over numbers after that meeting. What might be within reason, if you know at this time?
It's going to be pretty much based on.
With us, it would probably be from the 19th on. Would be okay. We could pretty much just work around what you all would schedule for a date.
19th in the afternoon would be probably better, ma'am, because of staff in the morning. It's Tuesday.
All right.
What date were y'all saying? I'm trying to check my calendar at the same time.
19, Kamala.
Yes.
With 11 to 1 or that time period or what?
Yeah, 11-ish. Kamala, is that okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can do earlier if they need it. Or did he just say needed morning or late morning? What did he say?
No. I was saying because we have staff that morning. It's a Tuesday morning, and we have
Oh,
staff. But
okay.
11 would be fine if
I'm
it's
fine
acceptable
with
for
that.
everyone.
Yes, the 11th is fine for us. I mean, the 19th.
9 and 11.
Yes.
Okay, I'll put it together on the calendar.
Can you send that to
Anything
me?
else?
Can you send
Yes,
that
ma'am.
to me as well? And can you send me the one for the PD too? Because I don't think it's on my calendar either.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Thank you.
Anything? Gentlemen?
Thank you. We first and foremost, and lastly, thank all of you for listening to us. And we just want to make sure that you understand that these concerns were from our members of the association that have been kind of knocking on our front door to make sure that they're out there. They really are concerned about these things, and we're just presenting this. And again, Raul, thank you for putting all this together.
Absolutely.
And for anything, any changes or anything that might come in the future, even with times, just let us know. We're willing to help out and work with whatever you might need. Thank you again.
Very good, thank you. I believe we're adjourned. Thank you, Camilla.
Good job. On the other side. Good job.